It's a real pleasure to be here as part of this launch of the Lancaster and Morecambe story. It's really important to say that. And I think every time members of the Eden Project have been here, we've been really touched by the sense of warmth that we've received, and that's just growing. It's incredible. And I think the first thing I want to say actually is amongst our project, we work with a number of partners. This is really special. This is really, really special. And I'd like to shout out my colleague, Em Critchley, who's just there. She's joined me as well. So behind us as Eden Project, there's a whole number of people back in Cornwall that are sending so many best wishes to this place. And as the launch of this story, we are with you. We are with you at the start of what is a long story for you. But if this is a story of 7 chapters, for us, this is probably now chapter 2. We're about to turn the page. And what a wonderful page that is. We're now past our feasibility for this project, and we're really accelerating with the brakes off into 2019 and what happens next. So that's a nice start, hopefully, for some people. So in terms of getting back to the point, and this wonderful image that was released a couple of weeks ago, and I'm hoping everybody has seen that, why Morecambe? And I think the clear fact for us is that every place has a DNA. Every place has something that speaks to the source of what it represents, what it is as a community, what it is as a place, what it offers, what it says about itself. And Morecambe spoke to us, yes, with our partners, particularly Lancaster City Council, Lancaster County Council, Lancaster University, so thank you, and the Local Enterprise Partnership have come together to remind us what a wonderful DNA this place has. And it speaks to a location that, I mean, look at that image. It's on an incredible bay. What better place is there to put something that tries to connect each of us with the natural environment? What better place is there to go back to Morecambe and the legend that is beauty surrounds and health abounds? What better place is there to go back to the past and reinvent it for the 21st and 22nd century that simply says, if this was a place where people escaped from the soot and the grime, why shouldn't you come back to that and seek a sense of well-being and connection? And is there a single person in this room that doesn't love kicking the sand between their toes, taking the fresh air, feeling better from walking in the woodland, and just wondering, why can't we have that every day? And this is what this project's about. It's about making those connections with the community. It's about making meaningful connections with the natural environment. And if there's one thing the Eden Project stands for, it's about making strong connections with each other and the natural world. And Morecambe is that place. We are delighted, absolutely delighted, that this project is now going past feasibility. And if there's any reason why Morecambe speaks to us, it's because the DNA is so wonderful. It is the best place to do this. The other thing, of course, is the fact that we always seek projects that will connect with the Eden Project Trust mission, and which, frankly, in a week that has seen climate change focus back again into the headlines, that coastal communities, which 17% of the UK population actually are represented in coastal communities, some of those effects of climate change will be felt in the coastal regions. It's really important that we can explore what that means, and there's no better way to bring people to a project such as this and say, do we really understand what it means to be in a coastal region? This is incredible with a triple SI, a site of special scientific interest, a Ramsar site that's internationally recognized. What better place is there for people to truly understand the bay, to observe it, to create a living lab, a wild side of Morecambe that doesn't speak to a Saturday night with too much beer, but actually speaks to a place where people can see the natural environment and make it the most understood area of the UK to make a difference. Eden Project prides itself on only doing projects that change the dial. They really change things. This is going to be one of those. And the final thing I'd say really about why Morecambe is because, again, with the bay, there's this wonderful sense of connectedness. This is an urban project, and it's a marine project. This has a sense of connection with people along the promenade, where people for years have promenaded up and down, and yet you've got an incredibly diverse and dynamic scientific site on the doorstep. It is the perfect location to blend the two, that people have access to those themes of nature, have access to those themes of science, have access to those themes of wonder. And I can't end this section of location without talking about some things of what's inside. Eden prides itself on experiences. And the one thing I think I can say in the short time that I've got this evening is to say one thing this project tries to do, as Eden Project does in general, is to try and turn the lens, to flip it round, and to talk more about people not being consumers of something, but being participants, to being joyful, to being creative, to having fun, and really saying, I love this. This is creative. Why? And being curious about everything they see before them. And through doing that as children, as young adults, as old adults, as pop stars, as anyone, to say, I want to be more curious about the world in general and ask better questions about where we are in life. It's really important. So the next question really that I was kind of posed in hopefully sparking some thought and interest and curiosity tonight is, so how is it transformational? Well, transformation comes in many forms. Eden Project was transformational in that it took a clay pit in the early 2000s and transformed it to those who've been there into an incredible place. How do you do that? Well, you do it through people coming together. And each of us coming together can do more than we really think. That's the wonderful thing of being together as people. And that's what we did. And I think transformation was a response. The biomes were a response to the particular environment we saw ourselves in then, the particular challenges of connecting people with plants. Here, it's not about that. It's not simply about taking Eden Project Cornwall and putting an Eden Project in Morecambe. We are listening. We need to listen. Now, I'm not from Morecambe. I'm not from Lancashire. I'm from South Wales. And we need to listen. And the whole team in Cornwall are listening to the people of Morecambe, the people of Lancaster, the people of the region to say, what do you want this project to be for you? This is your project. We're listening. But it is about the wonderful bay. It is the connectedness. It's about the Health and Innovation Campus and the science that goes with it. So the transformation of this particular project is both economic. It says, wow, when you build an Eden Project North, what can that bring? Well, what we can say is, through Eden Project in Cornwall, over the last 20 years, we've had 20 million visitors. £2 billion has been pumped into the local economy. And we pride ourselves on 80% of the supply chain is kept within Devon and Cornwall. Let's just think about that for a bit. The impact could be huge. And that's, again, what we're seeking to achieve. That's transformative from an economic perspective. The other thing, of course, is the environmental transformation. The bay is an incredible bay. The important transformation of the bay for us is understanding it the best we can and doing some really serious science at the highest and the most accessible levels to make sure people understand the bay, to use the wonderful academia around us with Lancaster University, Cumbria University, and to make this not only regionally significant, but nationally significant, to make sure in Europe it is seen as an exemplar in terms of access to a wild site and understanding what that bay means. And we want it to be respected around the world as, how have you done that? We've done it because we've had a vision and we've had people around us that make these things happen. And the final thing I think I'd say is a social impact. In a place where there's been lots of images of the past, we want to focus on images of the future. And I think the best way at Eden Project we can do that is every day we're inundated with people giving us support. It is wonderful. We love it. Keep it coming, please. But I'm just going to give one example. I can't say these words any better, and I hope it resonates in people here this evening. I'm writing to you to state my excitement and admiration for your desire for an Eden Project North in Morecambe. With being from Morecambe and Lancaster District, I know how important this is and how much it will offer our community and how much it will bring to make Morecambe one of the greatest tourist resorts in the UK. Not only are you helping enlighten environmental issues in the area, but you're helping a local community that has been demanding for someone to help it for so long. Thank you for resurrecting hope in my community. Check that out. So there's a real sense of hope that comes with this. So the social side, yes, but there's hope. There's also the really serious stuff about health and well-being and what it means for the environment and how we can all become more connected to nature. And through becoming more connected to nature, what does that tell us about ourselves and why nature and our links with it are so important to make us feel better? In a day and age where mental health and physical health are so important, this can only be a good thing. And the final thing really is about, the question really is about, where will people come from? Well, if we take our Eden Project Cornwall experience, the answer is really simply everywhere. They will come from everywhere, and they'll come from everywhere because it's a project of such importance and fun, and people just want to spend time there. So Eden Project, as I said, we've had 20 million visitors come and join us since we opened our doors, and we would love it if that was a similar situation for Eden Project North. Our visitor numbers, broadly speaking, 575,000 people per year we're hoping will come. It's going to be more than that probably. And in terms of transport and all the things that go with it, again, we're going to be hugely diligent and make sure the impact is a positive impact. We appreciate there are some on parts of it that are talking about transport, but we have confidence that we're going to go through the due diligence to make sure that the impact isn't significant. And let's be honest, what this comes down to as well is the number of visitors per day. And on the maximum day we see at Eden Project, it's approximately 8,000 to 9,000 people that may come at any one time. And I think Morecambe is particularly good at coping with large visitor numbers. For example, we've heard already about the huge cultural and festival sides of it. You can do this. We know you can. And the other thing about where they all come from is the fact if we can build a global reputation, that's what we're seeking to achieve. And I said something earlier to somebody tonight that this is locally vital, it's regionally incredibly important, it is nationally significant, and in terms of the global reputation we want people to respect what has been done here. And I think there's some of the important things we're trying to achieve in what type of people will come. They're those people who want to come because we've set them such an offer, such a day that they want to have, that it's compelling for them to come. So in closing, really, there's three things really that I'd like to close on, which is in bringing Eden Project North to Morecambe, this isn't us, this is we. This is Morecambe's project, this is Lancaster's project, this is the region's project. The team aren't from this region, we're from Cornwall. We know how to operate an Eden Project in Cornwall, and we'd love to know your thoughts on how you'd like this to be for you in the region to make it really significant. I've also spoken to some people the first time I came in August and sat on a very windy pier that you can see there just on the jetty as I was blown sideways. People said, look at the view. Isn't it magnificent? It is magnificent. But I then turned around the other way and I looked into the town. I thought the view that's equally magnificent is of a community with passion, of a community that wants this to happen, of people who with entrepreneurial skills, who simply want life to be better. That's also an amazing view. And the latency, the light that was in the people of Morecambe that just are seeking a better future that's inspired by hope and inspired by what the town can become is just as good a view as that looks out on the bay. There's two sides to Morecambe and we're going to expose them both. And finally, you'd expect me to say this, wouldn't you? So the brakes are off this project. But it can't happen with just the team in Cornwall. It can't happen with the partners we've got here. It can only happen if people rally behind this project and want it to take place. We've got a hope that actually we can get this done if everything comes together by the back end of 2022. That's not long away. So the final thing I'll close on is it's a wonderful privilege for myself, for Emma, to be here this evening, to be part of the Lancaster and Morecambe story. The whole team are behind this. We want this to happen. We need your support. Thank you so much for letting us be here with you tonight.